Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some malicious compliance. All work jobs must have a billing code? You got it! Back in the 80s, I was a secretary/receptionist at a small marketing research firm. It was my responsibility to assign all new jobs a job number and to transfer time from timesheets to the billing book, so clients could be billed. The boss/owner got pretty upset if there was unbillable time from any department, and insisted that all jobs have a billing number and all time be billed to a client. It was also his business, and he could do what he wanted. I once spent 2 hours on the phone tracking down the hot tub that was supposed to be delivered to his house, special ordered clothes for his wife, etc. His high school kid had a paper due. The boss wrote up the design for the research paper. I think the kid actually did do some interviews. The coding department pulled together data. The kid wrote the first draft, but the boss fixed it, and I was given the paper to type. There were grumbles from the coding department about how they were supposed to account for the time, so I went back to the book and added a job number. I meticulously kept track of every minute spent on the kid's paper, including my time. When the boss got the billing report at the end of the month, he came out pretty upset, wanting to know why I had given it a billing number when there was no client. Now, it looked like we had a job of several $100s that could not be billed. I apologized profusely and referred to his recent tirade about giving everything a billing number. I was just trying to follow his rules. Well, we didn't get much information, but the boss did sound like a client to me. Too lazy to walk to the car? Okay. This happened earlier. Backstory. I have the same birthday as my mother-in-law, and since my wife and I got together, we celebrate it every year together. They plan it all, and I just tag along or drive for them. This year, my mother-in-law invited her brother and his family, wife and son, to a lunch at one of the big malls here in my country, an hour drive from where we live. Since it is the weekend, traffic and parking is a real pain. I managed to park near an entrance to the mall, which is really hard to come by. With perseverance and patience, I found a parking spot which isn't too far, probably 100 meters by rough estimate. The frustrating part of the parking lot system in that mall is if you go out of it, you will be led to a one-way street, meaning you have to go around the mall to go back to where you are parked. That is why I was glad to find a parking spot that is as close as we could get to the entrance. After doing all the celebration and wandering in the mall, we decided to head on home because we were all just tired from the walking. Mother-in-law's sister-in-law went out first, and as we followed her, she told me that it would be better if the car could be in the entrance already. I told them that we parked not far from the entrance, and that it would be time consuming to drive around the mall just to get to the entrance again. She told me that she's going to tell mother-in-law that it is the grandest idea to have the car at the entrance. Cue the malicious compliance. I said, okay, and walked to the car. They can actually see me getting in the car and driving off. I went out of the parking lot and started driving to the busy one-way street. After 5 minutes, I got a call from my mother-in-law, asking where I was. I told her that her sister-in-law told me to get the car to the entrance. She went silent and just said, okay. After roughly 20 minutes in the darned one-way alley, I got to the entrance. No one was smiling. Parked as close to mother-in-law's sister-in-law, so she won't be walking up to the car. Got out of the car and opened the door for her and closed it after she got in the car, which I do not do normally, and drove back home. The drive was silent. I am dead tired and did not feel like it was my birthday today. I went out of my way and exerted effort for that sweet, satisfactory malicious compliance. Well, that would definitely be the last time we shared a birthday meal if that was me. All documents need to be printed. This happened years ago when digital letters are not yet a norm. Our office usually receives letters/documents in a PDF file. It will later be printed and distributed accordingly. Boss would write a memo on what should be done on these letters/documents. We have a copier guy, an office boy, and a cleaner. Well, we call him Copyboy, which his responsibility includes keeping our office clean, copying letters and documents, and distributing them. Now, while we have a high number of documents circulating daily, not all of them are printed and copied. Only some of the really important documents get to be printed, copied, and distributed. However, on this particular day, one of the bosses, let's call him Jerk Boss, is replacing our current boss, Big Boss, for several days during his business trip. The Jerk Boss then gives instruction every morning to staff, including to Copyboy. Jerk Boss is known to be a control freak, micromanaging, and quite difficult to cope with. This means everybody in the office is aware that Jerk Boss is going to make everyone's life difficult during Big Boss's business trip. One morning, Jerk Boss gives a memo to the Copyboy to print and distribute letters and documents. Quite a lot, 20 plus letters and documents in a PDF file. Copyboy prints them and began to copy them. The printer and copier are separate devices. Again, this is years ago. Copyboy then stumbled across one huge file that was instructed to be printed and copied and distributed. This was no normal file of 5 to 10 pages. It was a 20-page report with an additional 387 pages of data attachment. This huge file was memoed to be copied to all recipients, around 14 people in this particular office. Copyboy knows that Jerk Boss might have mistaken its memo, so he went to Jerk Boss to confirm, but was then scolded with, "Was it difficult for you to understand print and copy to all? Do I have to explain it again to you?" He then adds, "Don't you ever leave that job until it's finished." Cue the malicious compliance. Copyboy then just copied them all 387 plus 20 pages of useless report and its attachment, to all staff in the office. Copyboy went to the stockroom to take boxes of an A4 copy paper just to finish this job, and he started copying from 10 o'clock in the morning. Our copy paper is just a normal copier, not an industrial/pro copier. It often jams, and it took hours for Copyboy to finish this job. Now, this is the only copier in our office, and due to it being used to copy that much, every other staff needs to wait until it finishes so they can use that copier. This stupid job not only was useless, but it delays other work as well. Jerk Boss is not amused why some of the needed documents are not ready yet. So he checks the Copyboy and how he was surprised that the copy machine is being used to copy 400 pages times 14 copies. He gets angry and scolded Copyboy, but he simply replied, "I did as instructed. All documents copied to all staff in this room. No need to explain twice." "Why don't you tell me?" Copyboy says that he did and you scolded me. And many staff are also in the same room when Jerk Boss scolded Copyboy, so he can't deny it. Defeated, Jerk Boss instructed Copyboy to stop copying the 400 pages file. It has been copied 12 times anyway, and told him to continue with the other files. This time, Jerk Boss rechecks the file he instructed to print to avoid such a stupid mistake. Now, on every desk in that office stood a monument of Jerk Boss being a jerk, a 400-page document that was nowhere important nor was needed to be printed and copied. When Big Boss returned, he then saw those 400-page documents and finally learned about that incident. Jerk Boss was scolded by Big Boss later and often reminded again and again on how stupid and unprofessional his behavior was. Copy Machine is upgraded a couple years later to a fully automated one. Nobody knows what to do with the document, and being an office document, you are not allowed to destroy them without supervision. Well, it sounds like Big Boss isn't going to be making Jerk Boss the boss anymore when he goes on a business trip. Want to extend my hours without telling me? Okay then. This happened about a month ago and I finally got around to writing it out. I work at a retail store that rhymes with souls. Recently, there's been some real turmoil at my specific location. The scheduling manager is fantastic at looking at availability and maximum hours and writing the schedule to fit perfectly with everyone's needs considered. However, our general manager is the one with the final say of the schedule. It's become a huge problem with the management that the good workers are being scheduled between 5 to 10 hours more than their availability allows. This always seems to affect me. In the past 3 months or so, I've had to go to management countless times and demand that my schedules fit my availability. Typically, this is an irritation and not really something I want to deal with, but it's not anything over ridiculous. However, about a month ago, I went into my shift and saw that my shift was manually penciled in and extended another 15 minutes, and signed by my general manager. This really upset me. I feel like employee hours are to be stuck to. What if I had an appointment right after work? I'm angry and ready to storm into the manager's office and ask what the reasoning is and how this feels really unethical. But the more I looked at the schedule, the more I formulated a plan for malicious compliance. Halfway through my shift, I walked into my general manager's office and talked to him. It's not verbatim, but it went something like this. "Hi, why did you extend my shift without telling me?" We needed coverage until the next shift comes in at 3. I understand that, but I really don't like my schedule being changed with no notification or asking me. I know, but we needed someone to stay in your department until 3. I figured you wouldn't mind. I do, but I'll stay for just this one time. Say this means I work 7 hours, right? Right. And isn't 7 hours the minimum to have a lunch break? Yes. Well, I'll take my lunch now. I leave and clock out for 30 minutes. I think the general manager finally realized that by extending my hours 15 minutes, he gave me a 30-minute off-the-clock lunch break, therefore making it a net loss of 15 minutes work. The best part? When I took my lunch, the department I was working at was completely packed with customers. They were all needing help and had to ask staff from other departments because I wasn't going to help while clocked out. That last 15 minutes? Completely silent and peaceful. Don't you have to be informed like 24 hours before? Isn't that like a legal thing in most places? I've no idea on the laws, but I'm pretty sure there's laws around that. Drive to the confirmed address out of state? Okay. For a little background, I am a full-time Uber driver and have been one for over 3 years. My original Uber vehicle was a burnt orange Suzuki SX4. It was a great little car. The cast. Me, OP, Christina, she was the one who ordered, Sarah didn't really say anything to me, and Kathy, the obnoxious loudmouth. So to begin this tale, it was a Saturday night getting close to midnight in the Rocky Mountain State. I had received a trip request from a club downtown for a Christina. At this point, Uber gave very little info to us drivers about the ride we were about to get, just the name of the passenger and passenger rating. No indication on how far or what direction even the passenger was going. So when I arrive to the club, 3 college girls pile into the car. "Are you Christina?" Kathy speaks up. "Yes, this is Christina," in a pretty aggressive attitude. "Christina, what is your driver's name?" The girls pretend to not hear me as I am asking for confirmation that I am in fact their driver. Ladies, who is your driver? You are. I laugh along, putting on my customer service face. I may be, but we still have to confirm that we have the right people. I was very adamant about doing this after someone tried to steal another person's Uber one night. Like I said, and your phone says this is Christina. This Kathy sounds like the epitome of an entitled witch. I make no move to leave, and after much grumbling, Christina finally confirms that I am who I am. You're OP. Now, if you're done wasting time, let's go. Yep, I'm OP. Sorry about the trouble. I have had people try to steal another person's Uber in the past. This gets me no response, and I do all I can from visibly sighing in despair. I begin the ride, and this is where I normally would confirm the address, but before I can even read it, give me your aux cable. We need good music. Crank Rihanna, Kathy. All three girls scream. Okay, here you go. Sorry, it's not long. I hand the cord to Kathy, which barely reaches beyond the front seats. Wow, cheap. This was said quietly, but in my tiny car, everything can be heard. It honestly hit harder than I expected though, because I am a prideful person when it comes to my work. Crank the music, after she gets the music playing. I'm about to comply when I actually read the address. It was 123 Dad's House, Wichita, Kansas. I obviously don't know the real address. Hey, just to confirm, you need to go to 123 Dad's House, Wichita, Kansas? The girls are laughing and promptly ignoring me as I drive slowly along. Excuse me, I need to confirm the address really quick. Kathy, cutting me off, yeah, it's right, just drive. Turn the music up and go. At this point, I just shut up, turn up the music, and start driving with purpose. I ignored most of what they said in the back seat at this point. I knew that they didn't want to go to Kansas. They had no luggage, and I picked them up from a club, but they told me to drive and I refused to listen. So I was going to get as much out of this trip before they would notice that we were driving east at a rapid pace. It was about 40 minutes later that the back seat had quietened down. Guys, where is he taking us? I start to slow down now and turn the music down a touch. We are no longer in a city, but in the plains with basically only the stars as light. We could see the city behind us in the distance. Where are we? You could hear the confusion in her voice. Where are you taking us? 123 Dad's House, Wichita, Kansas is the address you put in and the one I said at the start of the ride. That's my dad's house, not mine. Turn around. Yes, ma'am. I turn around more aggressively than necessary. Where to? Kathy explodes into a stream of insults, drowning out anything else in the car. Me speaking up, Christina, what address am I taking you to? Kathy quiets down, glaring at me, allowing Christina to tell me they are at the college outside of downtown. Let's get y'all there, I say, and then crank their music again and start driving. The whole time I am driving, I am in a panic, because I just know that they are going to try and contest this fare and probably try to get me suspended from the app. Nothing really eventful happens when I'm driving, and these girls are pretty quiet, but I can hear them say some small comments about reporting this and how messed up it was. As we approached the college campus, I began to try and cover my butt. So I just wanted to say I'm sorry about this experience, y'all. It really sucks when there is a miscommunication on this level. I will say though that I will be saving my dashcam footage from tonight, in case there is trouble with Uber over the fare, as it is a strange one. I pause to see if they have anything to say about my dashcam bluff, but they say nothing. I come to a stop close to the dorm area of the college. I hope y'all have a great night now, and good luck with your studies. They all get out of the car without a word, and slam the doors. I pull away and rate Christina with a single star, and give the reason as wrong address entered in and rude. The ride would have been close to a minimum fare if they would have put the right address in, but it turned into a $70-ish trip. Christina never gave me a low rating from what I know, because those are the ones we drivers actually hear about. I now know that I could have done a lot different to avoid this situation, but at the time I was still fairly new and it took a bit of time for me to adjust to the work. Oh no, when he said dashcam bluff, does that mean he doesn't have a dashcam? Because he definitely needs to get one of those ASAP. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.